Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another food service trucking video. Today I figured I'd take you along for a couple of key drops. Since I've never really done that, I don't really show too much of the delivery process. So I figured I'd go ahead and try to film that a little bit more since we've got a smaller case order here today. This is one of our bigger chain account restaurants, and I used to not really do too many of them as key drops until they changed my route, and so now I've got 4 or 5 of them that I do as key drops in the morning. So we'll get our key, and obviously there's nobody here. It is 5 a.m. I've started at 3, already done one bigger drop, so we could take up the entire parking lot and get that angle just right. Gonna go into the front door, get our doors and stuff propped open. Not sure if this is gonna work. Nope. We will use an oil. Going to play with the lights a little bit. So since we're going to start with the freezer, I'm gonna go ahead and open up our freezer compartment, walk in. First things first, we need to turn on our trailer lights. I need to shut the reefer off. You gotta shut that off, not only because you guys need to hear me, but also don't want to be standing in a frozen wind tunnel. That, and when you open your doors, moisture, all that good stuff, yeah, never a good thing. Gloves, I know some of y'all are against gloves, but I tell you what, so don't at me when it comes to putting on some gloves. Got these at Menards. They're actually pretty cool. So we've only got 25 dry cases, 4 refrigerated cases, and just 17 frozen cases. And 7 of those are bread sticks. The trailer might slightly be a mess just because I don't have any room really to stack pallets yet. I should here after this stop. But here we got most of their stuff. Kind of organized from the last stop. Here's a big stack of the breadsticks for this stop, and then the next one, and then this should be the rest of the. I'm not the biggest stacker in the world. I don't make giant stacks. They say to keep it between 300 and 400 pounds is really kind of the optimal weight. I mean, you don't want to strain yourself. And I believe, like, I love how this box is just open. That's okay. They open them anyway. I believe, like, in work smart, not hard. So you don't want to overdo it. And when you're doing this job, you're going to find out real easy what your limits are. How much you can handle, what you can all take at the same time. What you can throw on your dolly. What's good for you. And I know I said it in a previous video, but don't overdo it. It's not worth it. I see some guys on Facebook groups, food service Facebook groups, that really just pile up their dolly. And they're thinking they're showing off. Now I don't know if they're showing off for people at the restaurant or showing off for themselves or their trainee or whatever, but it's not worth it. But I'm telling you guys, like, there's no sense in overdoing it just because you want to be the fastest. There's a customer of mine in Arkansas that actually was complaining the other day about me being slower than one of their other drivers. And I'm like, okay, it's not a race. So on key drops, when you set your stacks down, make sure that they don't fall. Last thing you want is the customer to come in and you've got boxes that are falling everywhere. Just makes you look bad. You got to take pride in your work. Like, no matter where I went, where I worked, you always take pride in doing the job like it's supposed to be. You know, even if I had a job where I didn't really care for it anymore, and I still did the job like I'm supposed to. But anyway, back to what I was saying about overstacking your dolly. Just don't. You know, just don't. Because not only, you know, if you try to go too fast, man, that's a slippery box. You try to go too fast, you're gonna make mistakes. You know, you're gonna forget items, products. You know, and not only that, but running down that ramp, you know, with 500 pounds of product, you know, you're gonna hurt something. Could be your back, could be your knees, you know, whatever. You are gonna hurt something, I guarantee it. Now bread, I can put all 8 on a 1 stack. So like I said, you know your limitations. Just like this, you know, some guys, especially if you're new, you might not want to take a stack of 8 breadsticks. You know, they're breadsticks, but they're not exactly light once you get them all together. So now we've got, this is why I take 2 dollies. It's usually how I do it. I'll build 2 stacks, run 2, build 2, run 2. So we just go based off of our invoices. Run our bread. These places, they keep all their stuff in one place. So once you learn where, like, the layout of the back, it's pretty easy. They're all pretty similar. The reason I came through the front door of this place, because I usually use the back door, but I want to show you real quick. I know we're gonna burn a little bit of time, but when I deliver in the daytime here and the store's open, I have to park on the side of the street because I can't get into this small parking lot. And then I've got to run it. I'll have my back door, I'll have my ramp right there. I have to run it around, put a curb jumper here, and then run it up this door. This door is just not, you know, I don't know what happened when they designed some of these places, but obviously they didn't think, you know, hey, there's gonna be a delivery truck here. Bring in their supplies, bring in their product. Let's make it, you know, a space where they can get into. No. No. It's not how it happened. The loaded trailer. So far, there's still plenty of room for errors. We've got a milk, dressing, probably a couple of lettuces, nope, lettuce and a cheese. See, once you know your stops, man, like, you know your product. When I started, they're like, yeah, give me that provolone shredded cheese, you know, give me this, and I'm like, what? I don't know what this stuff is. You know, it was a little bit harder. Come on, dude. Try not to break down the entire shrink wrap. It was a little bit harder when you didn't know what the product was. You know, obviously you could tell, okay, that's lettuce, that's milk, you know, but getting to like the frozen yogurt, stuff like that, you know, I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, hold on, let me figure this out. But, you know, once you're here for a while, I know y'all watched my 6-month review. Hopefully you watched it. If you didn't, click up here. But if you did, and you stayed through the entire video, you kind of know how it has been for the past 6 months. All right, so now we're gonna do the dry goods, which once again, I've kind of pre-organized them over here because I had to down stack a pallet earlier. So usually when you down stack a pallet, it sucks that we have to do it a lot. And I talked about it before, but it sucks. Like this whole pallet is for stop 8. Okay, so my next stop has this whole pallet. But they also put 8 and 11 in here. So there's a couple of products for stop 8, 5 products for stop 8 that are somewhere in here. Like there's 2 here. I mean, you know, 3 there. It sucks. But if you got to down stack it, at least make it worth your while and organize it. You know, it's a little bit better than having to re-dig and re-find it. Got pasta products going on this dolly. Now there's a certain way to stack things. You know, where it's going to be the most beneficial. And that's just something that you'll have to learn. Everybody's different when it comes to stacking. You know, some people stack up a bunch of heavy stuff. Some people will do what's called double stacking, which is what I'm doing right with those right there. And when you do that, you kind of want to make sure you kind of cross layer your stuff. You know, that way it doesn't fall apart. So you always want to make sure that you know, you've got something holding it together. It's kind of like building Legos, sort of like. Alright, it is 5:38. Really should have got that done in like 30 minutes or so, but obviously I was talking to you guys and showing you guys some stuff. Push those boxes a little bit. So yeah, I mean, that was like a 30-minute stop, 45 cases. You know, if you've got like 60 to like 100 cases, probably gonna look at like more of an hour typically, unless you're just really fast. So some people, I mean, there's been times where I've been, you know, really short on time and I've busted out those 100 case drops in like 40 minutes, but I don't like to do that. Don't feel very good the next day. Obviously you want to lock up your store, put everything back the way you found it. If anything you use as a door stopper, put that back. Of course, sometimes if I can find a mop handy, I'll mop up my tire tracks like I did in the front of their store. That way when they walk in later this morning, you know, there's just not tire tracks right out there in their face. You know, I just like to put things back the way I found them. And now we're going to shimmy ourselves this way and back, straight back, to get out of this place. And that's like I said about the backing situations. You know, you get yourself in somewhere, you always want to make sure you can get out. So you never want to just nosedive right into a place blindly. You know, you want to make sure, you know, say, hey, you know, I can go back out that way. But typically, if you can pull in, there's a way to back out. So yeah, that's always a situation to be on. It's a good thing I'm doing this early in the morning too, because this road actually usually gets quite busy. Because for whatever reason, everybody decides they're going to go to this car wash like all the time. But yeah, key drops, guys, that's about it. I mean, you just got to rinse and repeat with your next couple of stops. My next stop's 17 minutes away. It's 95 cases, so it's a little bit bigger. Just going to do the same thing, and they'll probably get there within 30 minutes of me being there. So they'll start putting that truck away. And the good thing about this is, you know, there's some stuff, if you can't fit anything, you know, everything into the freezer. Somebody just knocked down that light pole. It was not like that last week, probably a truck. But if you can't fit everything into the freezer, which is most of the time not the case for me, sometimes it happens with some of those stores. But you know, if you just leave it out, leave it in the cooler, leave it in the walk-in refrigerator, you know, usually there's going to be somebody there within, you know, an hour or 2 hours maybe. But hopefully this kind of, you know, once again, kind of give you a little bit of a perspective of what you're going to expect when you come to one of these food service jobs, you know, whether it be PFG or anywhere else. You know, everybody pretty much does key drops. You know, there's some routes that are key drop only, just all overnight key drops. Some routes that are key drops in the morning, and the rest of them are during the day, during store hours, like mine is. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking around. Hopefully you stuck around to the end. If you did, comment down below. Spaghetti. Comment spaghetti. We'll make it a little word challenge. Comment spaghetti if you stayed to the very end of the video. As always, guys, follow me on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram. That's all going to be down in the description box down below. And feel free to hit that thumbs up button for me. Every like counts. Hits that algorithm, man. The channel's growing ever so slightly, but steadily at the same time. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you all in the next video.